the next topic is forming a KM team or the knowledge management team. So what are the points which are to be taken care while forming a knowledge management team? We will discuss these things. So first of all, what does the forming of KM team means? It means that the all the key stakeholders, they can be managers, workers, knowledge workers of different divisions. They should be member of the team, or there should be at least the participation from that team. Okay. And also the team should be comprised of such a persons, so that the balance is maintained, team size is maintained, and also the competency is maintained, which means that the skilled person from each department which can contribute strategically, technically, organizationally, are there in the team. Because for example, some of them may be the production manager, which are dealing with the straightly in a technical aspect, they will look after. And similarly, some finance people can be included, R&D people can be included, and some HR team managers or psychologists or center head can be included, which can think strategically. Okay. So the team should be have the members which is good in personality, experience, and communication skills. Okay. So that whatever they learn, they can transfer their knowledge. Okay. Size of the team also matters, and it depends upon the complexity of the project. If the complexity is more, then the size may increase. Also, there should be a person who is having good reputation in the company, so that he himself is self motivated and also having the skill set to motivate others. He should have the leadership skills. Okay. And he should not flatter and promise only what he can deliver. Okay. Because as we have studied earlier, that the role of the champion, that the champion is a influential person in a company, but he should also take care that he promise only those things which he can deliver. Okay. Whether it's the recruiting the people or technical support, whatever it can be. So how the business strategy is matched with the knowledge management strategy, that will be understood with this diagram. In the last unit, we have studied that the business strategies and knowledge strategies are interdependent, inseparable, and also bidirectional, double arrow. We have understood that. So how we match these things, it is shown by this. So first block is the business environment. So first part comes, it includes competitive threats. So it may include the rival companies which are in the same business. Okay. They may go for the technical upgradation. So the existing company in which we are involved, we should also go for the technical upgradation. If we are not going for the technical upgradation, then we might be a laggard. Similarly, government regulations play an important role. How? Because you can say, for example, nowadays Chinese companies are banned in our country. Either they are banned, or some sanctions are imposed on there, or you can say that the country's atmosphere is such that they do not want Chinese companies to take the profit from our country to their country. Okay. So similarly, customer threats. Customer may be bored by the existing products. So as long as we are going for the upgradation, we will be successful. For example, you can say that if we talk of 1995, 96, earlier there were pagers. So it doesn't matter. It was actually a small device in which something you could write, okay, and receive. So it was, you can say that it is similar to SMS service of nowadays. Okay. So earlier, even in nowadays, when we talk, we can say that this SMS service, we can write in Hindi, we can write in English, we can go for the uh, integers, etc. So earlier pagers were having only digital messaging service. Okay. So that was very problematic. Okay. But you can say that it was a similar to our telegraph service. Okay. For example, if the salesman is having a pager and also company is having that pager, So it could send the messages like 1, 2, 12 or 23. So the receiving party understand what they are supposed to convey. For example, if they receive the message 1, it means that okay, report to the head office. If you are receiving the message 2, that go for the zonal office, 3 for the regional office, and 4 for the customers, 5 for the service center, and so on. Okay, so but again, as you can see that these pagers were delivering only limited service, a sort of telegraph service. Even the telegraph service which we are dependent, we were dependent on Indian Postal Service, Indian Postal Offices. So even that were alphanumeric. So the advance then followed by these advancement. Then the next range of the pagers which were launched, they were alphanumeric. Okay, so alphanumeric means that in those pagers you could type letters in English as well as integers. You can type, okay, come soon, go there, go home, it's lunchtime, and so on. So that was similar to our SMS service of nowadays. Okay. But customer threat, customer service demanded more. So that pagers are obsolete now. Okay. Their life was also very limited. The digital pages which I am talking, it hardly survived for year or two. Alphanumerics pages also survived for 1 or 2 years. Then the mobiles were launched, and after the launching of mobiles, these pages were gone. Okay, so customer threats is to be taken care of. That what they want, whether they are happy with the service or the product or not. So based on those business environment, the knowledge management strategy is devised, focusing on the competitive advantage. What we mean by the competitive advantage is that the core in which we are having the expertise, that should be maintained, and innovation should be done on that to survive and success. Okay, for example, you know that uh, we are having lot of DTH service providers, but in earlier days when it was started in somewhere around 2006, there was D2H service in which Shah Rukh Khan used to do the ads. And at the same time, Tata Sky also launched. And that DTH service, I think Z was the promoter of that service. So at that time, that DTH service spent a lot on the advertisement. But that ZTV group was not having the expertise of those D2H service. But that Tata Sky is the Tata itself is a big conglomerate, and media and telecommunication, they were in this field for long, so they were having this expertise, so they are still surviving. And that DTH service which was launched by the ZTV group is nowhere now. If we are focusing on the competitive advantage, we will survive. Long back you can say that there were TVs or black and white TVs or color TVs, but the picture tubes of those color TVs and the black and white TVs or the monitor was provided by Samsung and LG. So they are in this picture tube business for years. So they still were surviving and successful. And even after the launch of the desktops, the desktop monitors were also supplied by the Samsung and LG. So they focused on those core business. Okay. So role of the IT, level of creativity, it means that as we go along, we have to acknowledge the role of the IT for digital communication, digital marketing, and we should constantly do some innovation for creative. Okay, so uh, that knowledge innovation based on the creativity should be there. Okay, so now this knowledge management technology, the business environment also impacts this knowledge management technology in a way that quality and reliability of infrastructure and IT staff resources. So how the quality and reliability will be maintained by constantly upgrading our technology. Okay, for example, if we are uh, having the broadband service at home, which is having the speed of 25 Mbps and 150 GB, and the number of devices which we are using, you can say 7 to 8. But if the family members are more or the need is more, for example, if we want to go for the live streaming of movie on a bigger picture, okay, so for example, if you are having 40-inch LED TV, if you are watching movie on that LED TV, it will require less data. But if the same, it is doubled or tripled, okay, 100-inch TV is there, then if you are watching the same TV, same movie, live streaming is there, it requires more data as well as more speed. So 100 Mbps speed will be required. Okay, so for the quality and reliability, we have to constantly upgrade ourselves, and also the training of the IT staff and the resources is to be done to meet out the business environment. So this knowledge management technology, by serving this, can serve to the strategic plan of the company, and business environment also impacts the strategic plan, which are based on the market, customers and suppliers, you can say demand and supply. Okay, so this way we can understand the impact of the business strategy and the knowledge management strategies. Next is the capturing knowledge. Okay, so capturing knowledge involves extracting, analyzing and interpreting the concerned knowledge. Okay, so how can we extract? We can extract by viewing the video lectures, listening to the experts. Okay, then comes the analyzing and interpretation. For example, if we are required to understand and learn the complicated procedures which are done at the rapid space, then what we have to do, we have to learn that by playing that video in a very slow mode, so that we can analyze each and everything and then interpret that how this is done. For example, if you want to learn how to bowl reverse swing, okay, so the masters of the reverse swing bowling, you can say the Wasim Akram used to bowl good reverse swing, and Wakar Yunis. So if we are watching those videos carefully in a slow manner, slow play manner, then we can say how much run up they used to take, what speed at which they were running, how they were holding the ball, which grip they were falling, and how they were throwing the ball at the batsman, at what height, at what impact, what speed, and what ball used to do after pitching. Okay, so in those, after following those things, we can capture the knowledge. So this explicit knowledge is captured in repositories that can be documented files, video files, audio, and the tacit knowledge is stored in the minds, is captured from the experts by converting into explicit knowledge. Interviewing is also one of the popular method. If we go for an interview, that people used to ask questions to get the feel that what is in the mind of the person who is sitting in front. Then intelligence agents are also used. Intelligence agents can also be these social networking sites, how a person is reacting to that, how, what type of comments a person is giving. Based on the comments, feedback and reaction of a person, also decided which person is to be recruited, which is not to be recruited. Now what is the role of the rapid prototyping? So here you can say that the knowledge developer use the iterative approach for capturing knowledge. In the last block diagram also, last lecture, we have studied the rapid prototyping. So it was the iterative approach, which means that we go step by step, and if the previous block is successful, then we go for the next block, next successful approach, and we go only if we find there is a improvement. Okay, so you must have understood the rapid prototype earlier. So now the knowledge developer explain the fundamental procedure based on the knowledge extracted from the expert from the previous past sessions. The expert's reaction is to be taken into account. What expert is doing, how it is reacting to a particular situation or a particular questions if he is facing. So that represent in the additional knowledge, and that can be stored for the future reference. And the knowledge developer can again run that modified prototype based on the some modification, based on the modified questions, to gain more from the expert. Okay, so this spontaneous and the iterative approach of building a knowledge base is referred to a rapid prototyping. So this is again a question block diagram. So here we can say in the leftmost block, the knowledge is stored and can be used by the others. Its feedback as in this unit 2 we have studied that whenever a job is done which is comprises of many tasks, so after the completion of that job a feedback is given and team performs the specialized task. So it's how it is done. So a task is named and outcome is achieved, and relation between the action and outcome is evaluated. It is the same process which we have learned earlier in the unit 2. And then the knowledge is transferred. Knowledge transfer method is selected, how it is to be documented or video lecture. So knowledge developer is helped by all these things, how new knowledge is gained. So next is the expert selection. So the first of all, the expert must have the excellent communication skill, because he might be having the good knowledge, but if he cannot articulate properly, if he cannot communicate properly, then the knowledge transfer will be hindered. Okay, so some of the question before the expert selection can be how to know that the so-called expert is in fact an expert. Okay, you can say that okay, person X is the expert in the Java, but how can you convince yourself, or a company can be convinced himself? They can be convinced by interviewing or throwing some live project at him, or the existing projects can be thrown at him, and so that how he reacts in the troubleshooting cases by following these things, or feedback from the previous companies, from the friends, or again I have said there is social media is also active in this. For example, if a person is an expert in Java and he is also writing some blogs, so things can be extracted from here, how the what is the reaction of the persons who are listeners, and so on. Okay, so next question is that after convincing that that person is an expert, then the next question is that will he or she stay with the project till its completion? Because if a person is an expert, then he might be in greater demand in the industry. So if our project is lasting for say 1.5 years or 2 years, will he continue with us? It is a big question. Secondly, he might have some family considerations of moving. Okay, so that things can be cleared before involving an expert to any project. What backup is available in case the expert loses interest or quits? Okay, so he can be with our team, but if he goes, what backup we are having? That should be aware to the company. What how is the knowledge developer going to know what does and what does not lie within the expert's area of expertise? Okay, so that he can be a person of Java which is comprising of many further components. For example, he might be good at troubleshooting, testing, or database integration, coding, designing. Okay, so if a website is being launched based on the Java or JSP, so what is his field of specialization? Should that knowledge developer should know beforehand, so that if at all he goes or quits or loses interest, there should be backup available. And also that helps in determine what responsibilities are to be given to that expert. If he is good at troubleshooting at testing, and if he is given coding, then he may not give its fullest participation. Okay, so what is the role of the knowledge developer? The knowledge developer is the architect of the system. He should identify the problem domain. He should know how to capture the knowledge, how to represent the knowledge, coordinate the entire project. Okay, and what are the essential attributes of the knowledge developer? He should have the communication skills, good communication skills, knowledge of the knowledge capturing tools. Okay, the knowledge tools which are to be there, he should well aware of that. Okay, for example, privacy is required, security is required, how watermark is to be put, how password protection is to be carried out. Okay, how to convert one format into other, what tools which we are having, how to work quickly, email writing, etc. And he should be in position to work in a team with professionals and experts. He should not have the ego problem, work ready to work with the small team, big team, etc. And he should have some tolerance, patience. He should be able to think conceptually. He should more focus on the concept, what is the core business of the company, what project is focusing. That is, it should not happen that we are planning for the X and we are reaching at Y, we are diverted. That should not happen. Okay, ability should have the ability. He should have the ability to frequently interact with the champion knowledge workers and knowers in the organization.